In a world where two retired vets...
Hold up. Man, that's so last season. We're on season 2 now, bro. Let's get into the now, not the then.
Man, you're speaking my language, bro. I 100% agree. It's time to kick it up a notch because it is season 2. Our names are Matt Jackson and Sean Green. We were just veterans BSing in parking lots about wrestling and their storylines until last year when... Dude, why are we just talking about this? We should record it and start a podcast. When you start a podcast, you have no clue what you're doing. You fumble through all the technology.
Yep, you're back up, but you froze for about a minute. Oh, you're gone.
You rely on Google searches and reviews to piece it all together. You rely on your co-host for insightful content.
Surprise, surprise!
And as
Live and in Technicolor. Dude, you've got an iron bladder, because I have to go again.
you make some friends along the way. The big man himself, El Jefe himself, Mikey.
Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off, shall we?
Hi, Nick. Long time no see.
This is going to be a match of the future real soon.
You eventually reach 100 subscribers. Reese hit our 100 subscribers, so perfect timing for Reese. Bottom line is, as you continue to push out content, you'll always have a podcast. With all that said, welcome to the If We Had the Pencil podcast. Here are your hosts, Sean Green and Matt Jackson. Welcome to the most special episode of our podcast to date. It is our season 2 premiere. That's right, folks. You guys, those of you that have been on this journey with us since the beginning, we are at our 1-year anniversary. It's WrestleMania week. Boy, and then we got some excitement for you. In case you haven't noticed, by the way, new intro. I hope you all liked it. Let us know. But new intro, exciting times. Hopefully we'll have a couple of exciting moments this evening, you know, as we go along here. I'm on hotel internet, so hopefully this episode translates pretty well. But as always, I am your humble host and a very grateful host for all of you subscribers out there. The humblest of humble, your host, Sean Green. And with me as always, the man, the myth, the legend, the owner of many Hawaiian shirts, Matt freaking Jackson. Matt, how the hell are you?
Good, man. And yeah, welcome to season 2, man. I'm pretty stoked for this, and got some stuff to talk about. But man, we've been really happy with how the podcast has launched in the first year, and we thank our faithful viewers and people who comment and friends we met along the way, like you saw in the video. So a lot of people to thank for our journey along this way, and really excited now to see as we're starting to really get our feet wet with podcasts and what the future will hold for us. So I like it. I think we're in a good spot.
Well, I think we are, and I think we've come a long way, right? Like, we've kind of, for those of you who haven't noticed, we've both kind of upgraded equipment as we go, so now you get to see us in 4K. Hence all the glare coming into my room, but you know what? I love the sunlight, and it's beautiful here in Colorado. So, but again, folks, I cannot say this enough. Thank you to all our subscribers. Let your friends know. Let's all hop on it. And whoo, it's WrestleMania week, Matt. Yep. And folks, I said it last week. I'm going to say it again just to get you through this. We are in peak storytelling and bubble wrap season, right? We don't want to hurt those main events right now, so they're going to play it really super duper uber safe. It's okay. They've advanced some storylines. They've done some questionable stuff that we'll get into, but it's been an interesting week. It hasn't been a horrible week, but it's been an interesting week of WWE this week, and like I said, so, Matt, tell the folks what exciting WrestleMania stuff we have coming up for them this weekend.
Well, this weekend, we're going to do Saturday morning, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. And for those of us in the middle, I'm 9 a.m. and Sean will be 8 a.m. So there we go. Covered them all. We'll be live on YouTube. We're going to give a quick rundown of each night. So Saturday morning, we're going to give our predictions and our rundowns of the Saturday night card. Same time on Sunday morning, again, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. We'll go live again for about 30 minutes. We're going to give our predictions of Sunday night. We are not going to review night one. As of right now, that's all we're planning on. If we do a post show, something huge has to happen. So,
yep, along those lines, folks, just how we started, that's how we're going to finish, right? So we started this podcast, we did our preview for WrestleMania, and our very next episode was the recap of WrestleMania. So that's what you're getting. You're going to get a huge recap of WrestleMania from us this Tuesday. But like Matt said, we're going to get you prepped, right? So tune into us on Saturday morning. We're going to give you the Saturday night's card. We're going to give you our predictions and our quick thoughts. Sunday, same deal, right? We're going to do it all over again. Second verse, same as the first. And then, like Matt said, if something we feel warrants an emergency pod, we'll do it. But we're just going to ride the train. Other exciting stuff. I know our friends over at BC WrestlePod announced that they are living every PLE now. God bless them. I might dip in, but homie can't do that stuff anymore.
No, that was, especially, I mean, we our first, well, we did a Saturday night's main event, and they were
Mania.
like, oh, no, we did Royal Rumble. We did a watch along.
Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble.
I got Mania on the brain.
Yeah, it's Mania season.
It is. So, Matt, are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, what's your excitement level for WrestleMania this year, overall?
Tempered. So, all right, let's rip the Band-Aid off on that. I mean, this WrestleMania being what it is, it's very concerning. I think the stories are there, and I also worry that people are a little too hyper reactive to some of the things going on, right? I'll give you a good example, because we're going to get into it right out of the gate. The stuff with Pat McAfee. I don't give a crap if you like, dislike, whatever Pat McAfee. But if you peel back the onion and look at the messages that he is dropping, he's dropping some truth bombs, stuff that is not new or not that hasn't been said by it hasn't been said by this podcast, other podcasts. There's a lot of truth out there, and it's important to keep that in mind. Like, there's a lot of truth being said by them, and like, don't lose the message because of the messenger. And I think that you have to look at things in the bigger storyteller context a little bit here. Do I think this has been a great build? Hell no. But I can't talk out of both sides of my face. It's a transition year, folks.
Yes.
Period. Take a look at some of the people participating in the card this year. Right off the bat, Obafemi. Huge. Right? Like, that guy just got called up not that long ago, and he's already getting some love, right? Like, there's a lot of young talent. Trick Williams.
Yep.
Also.
Javon Evans.
Yeah. It's so, like, a lot of this younger talent that's been up are getting some love at WrestleMania. And I think next year, I mean, look at it this way, right? Look who's on the shelf right now. Like, I mean, you have your Braun Breaker, which is still huge.
Now,
right?
I've heard that Braun is medically cleared, but they're holding him off.
Well, you might as well now. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah, well, I think on one of the preview shows, I'm going to talk a little bit about Mr. Braun Breaker. But yeah, Bronson Reed's out for a while. Is Dragunov hurt? Because he's been off TV too, or are they just...
I just don't think he's written in, but I think that there's... Everybody, you can't... How do I put this? You can't say two things at once. You can't say that you want long-term storytelling and then turn around and complain when they give you long-term storytelling, right?
Right.
Like, am I upset that Carmelo Hayes is not in this WrestleMania? Yeah, because he's done. He carried the workload, right? However, ... that story at WrestleMania is not about Carmelo Hayes. It's about Sami Zayn. But I think that the biggest reality that keeps on, I forget, and then it comes back in my head, and it really bothers me, is next year's Mania is in Saudi.
Yep. They're going to want a nostalgia fest. So, like, are you going to postpone this? And I think I put in my notes that I sent it to you. Like, is this going to push to the right even further? Well, actually, camera side, the right, even further for some of these young stars. You know? Uh-oh, you're going to screw your camera all up with all those hand gestures.
Damn it,
It's
AI.
It's going to start. Is your camera like starting to catch on fire yet?
So you're saying I can't Vogue?
Yeah, no Madonna, bearded Madonna lady.
Hey, listen, Ray of Light is still like one of the greatest songs ever. Just ask Peter Griffin from Family Guy.
Okay. All right, as long as it wasn't Sean Green's view.
I love Ray of Light. It's a great song.
It's not my cup of tea. As you can see, I'm wearing a shirt. This is actually based off of an album, Close to the Edge by Yes.
Please. Like, we all know Sean's taste in music. If it goes...
Yeah.
It's Sean's music, right? Like, come on now. So...
But I don't know. I like long, weird pieces. That's why I like prog music. So
Matt likes them long and weird.
Like, Yes, Rush. That's
fun.
Yeah. Oh, you went off the deep end. That's horrible.
Hey, man, we're 10 minutes in. I got Mountain Dew. We ain't talking a lick of freaking SmackDown yet, but let's get into it.
It's an anniversary show. We got to party a little bit. Woohoo! With whoop whoop Mountain Dew and Coke.
Yep, I got 2 Coke Zeros like lined up. So
you can sell them to Danhausen because he'll use those.
Not until he does an intro for this podcast.
It might only cost 2 Coke Zeros because he said Diet Pepsi's not good for you.
I'll give him a case. I will give him a case. I'll be like, here. My teeth are falling out anyways. It can have one of my teeth too. Who the hell knows?
It'll want your government password.
All right. So let's get into SmackDown. So we kick off, this whole, is McAfee going to be there? Cody talking to Aldis. And then, Aldis has got orders not to engage. Okay. Jelly Roll shows up. Now Jelly Roll's on Cody's side. And it's just okay. But I think, like I said, don't let the messenger detract from the message. And the message for me, and honestly, I've been on this bandwagon for a while. Cody ain't cutting it. Sorry. He isn't. And I don't think Roman Reigns is the answer either. And I don't think CM Punk is. They're not cutting the mustard. And Randy Orton, I think, could cut the mustard if given the opportunity. So, but do I think Randy is going to be the face of WWE? No. On show, Randy's probably the best out of all of them right now. Outside of show, I don't think Cody's the greatest, water bearer either, but whatever.
No, and I mean, Roman was on Jimmy Fallon a couple weeks ago, and I watched snippets of it. Reigns is a good talker. He's good for the late night talk shows. Drew McIntyre is actually really interesting when he goes on the talk show circuit. So there's plenty of them. It's just Cody Rhodes just feels processed. With the suit and the look, it's so processed. It doesn't feel natural. When he's in the jogging suit, the red, white, and blue jogging suit, the logo, that's Cody. But when he puts on those pimp suits with the watch and chain, and they're all shiny and
turtleneck and chain.
Yeah.
Turtleneck and chain. Sipping on a light beer.
It's very processed, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I think when he's suited up, listen, Cody's only intriguing when he loses his shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of funny on him because any other time he's out there, it's corporate Cody, for lack of a better way of putting it. And you're just really, dude, Like, really? He's so vanilla. And it's just,
That's why
it's not intriguing. There's no edge. Like, when he tries to get edgy, it feels hollow, right?
That's why I think he would work better as a heel, because he doesn't have to be all that saccharine sweet. He could cross the
Yeah,
line.
but he plays to the, I don't know, man. Like, yeah. Anyways, we're just going to move on because we're going to get through this. So,
Yes,
because
sir.
honestly, SmackDown and Raw this week were just very cool. And then there was just something so derailing that happened to both shows that you were just like, I'm so out of it right now. You know what I mean? Like stuff would happen.
I think I know what you're thinking about on Raw, which was deflating.
There's a whole segment that could have been cut out, and I would have been quite happy with it.
It had something with some music. Yeah, we'll talk about that
too.
Yeah.
So then we get Rhea Ripley out. We get Io who comes out. They're apparently battle buddies again, and Io wants Jade. All this is cool. Let's do it, and that's your main event.
Pretty much. Let's do it.
Sounds good to me. That's a good idea. I'm gonna look like a genius. Let's go.
So from now on, do we call him Nick Aldis or do we call him Foreign Adam Pearce?
I don't know.
More to follow.
We'll get into it, but Adam Pearce on Monday Night Raw had a moment, one of his segments where I thought, oh, it was the one with Dom. And like, I was like, oh, he had a flashback and he was cutting a promo.
Yeah.
Like his whole, like, he's usually very measured and very like there. And then like, he cut this thing on Dom and I was like, oh, that feels like a promo right now.
Yeah, he went a little scrap iron on Dom there.
Yeah,
I like it.
So
I want to
get a match.
See Adam Pearce do that a little bit more. By the way,
I like that he's measured and he. So I always had this philosophy later in my military career. Like, you know this as well as I do. There's all kinds of leaders, right? There's the hoot and the hollerer. There's the, there's the very subdued guy. There's the task manager guy. And like, I found out kind of midway through my career that I didn't want to be the hoot and hollerer anymore, because I found that if I was measured and even keeled when I whipped out the like skull drag session, that it had a way bigger impact. So like, yeah, I just, and I think that works for him too, where it's like, you only whip that out when you need to whip it out. And he whipped it out really good. So, and then we get a match that's probably should have been like WrestleMania, like esque worthy. So we are getting some good matches because we get Alexa Bliss defeating Bayley. And like, this is what I hate and love about tag team, like the fact you got 4 tag teams going for this title for weeks now. It's just been this incestuous circle of all of them. Like, how many different combos can we come out, with? Like, okay, today we have Bayley, we have Alexa. Cool, go. It's just this never ending. I'm ready for the main match so I don't have to see the shit no more.
Right. In the merry-go-round, yeah. Grab the ring. You're on next. But I think they could have done this really good. And what they should have done, of course, Nikki Bella has to get hurt, and I've talked about that last week, so I'm going to let it go. But we all know she got hurt. I think if she didn't get hurt, I think you could have worked within those 3 teams, fighting off each other, and then you could have had Nia and Jax just stand back, and that sets the theme for the WrestleMania match, which if you want Nia and Lash to retain, they're all so much focused on each other by this point because now they have heat with each other. It allows Nia and Lash to, pick up an easy win and retain, but they kind of ruined it with Nikki getting hurt because now Lash and Nia have, of course, been involved a lot. But that's neither here nor there. Don't sprain your ankle and mess up an entire possible storyline.
I don't think she sprained her ankle. I think Matt went Tanya Harding and but yeah. I could be wrong. Like, put the Bellas on my WrestleMania TV. All right. So after that, we get this segment with Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, Matt Cardona, and Lil Yachty. Like, I love the role that Lil Yachty is playing in all this because he's just like, I don't want to say the shit stirrer, but he's like the little instigator that just causes all sorts of problems. Like, we've all had that friend, right? Like, that we've all had that guy where you're just like, bro, you can't be saying shit like that. You know what I mean? Like that guy.
Yeah.
Like Liliati is filling that role so good.
Well, I also see from that too that like little Yachty knows that Trick likes to talk trash, so I think he likes him talking trash, so he keeps egging him on, and then finally he hits that point like he stepped over his boundaries in that back, with guaranteeing matches and all this stuff. Trick had to put him a little bit of check there, but it's funny. So real quick about celebrities, everybody's losing their minds about celebrities, but how many celebrities are actually wrestling on WrestleMania weekend? I
What?
Show Speed.
I Show Speed. Yeah.
That's it.
I know.
McAfee and Jelly Roll. McAfee's going to be in Randy's corner. Okay. So that means Jelly will be in Cody's corner. Okay. So where's this, like, excess of celebrities?
A lot of people have an issue, though, because that's one of your two main events, and they feel like you shouldn't need celebrities to get involved in that. But I think part of the problem is that the Jelly Roll piece makes so much has made so much sense since Randy has gone off the rails, in theory, off his meds, if you will. And I think that, because him and Jelly Roll were good originally, right? And because, Jelly Roll is always, first off, the guy can cut a promo, timeout, straight up. Like, you give Jelly Roll a mic, I am hanging on to every word. I don't get why he gets as much hate as he does on the internet, but like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
Listen to the guy talk. And it's just like, and he's lived it, right? Like, he has lived that life where he has gone through like a lot of, and rightfully so, he did it to himself. And I think he acknowledges that. But I mean, the fact that he went so freaking long, and like, he's able to convey those feelings and emotions. And we always talk about it on this podcast. Like, real is real. Real sells, right? Like, real is what sucks us in. And when Jelly Roll talks, he's basing it on his real life experiences, so it resonates differently.
It's always believable.
And I think
it doesn't sound rehearsed.
No,
really, no.
And it doesn't sound like it's gone through the 50,000 take machine either, right? Like, oh, let's try it this way now or whatever. Like, no, it sounds legit. And I love that for Jelly Roll. I love that Jelly Roll does that. And I think the way that he conveys and talks and does stuff really resonates. And it kind of added depth to the Randy Orton character more than it really helped Jelly Roll. It just added depth. And I like it. The Pat McAfee shit, we'll get into it later. I don't want to get into it now. But, after that, we get Drew. And we get this pre-tape promo, basically talking about, Jacob, basic. And I know I think it was our text group that we're talking about this, and it was like, why do we have to bring this up? It was going to get brought up at some point. So now we can use it for a WrestleMania storyline, and we never have to hear about it again. Because it was just out there. We all knew it. It's okay. It's okay. It's not going away. Just, it's okay. And it's an angle and on a quick build. Because obviously him and Drew there's only so much you can talk about, right? Like,
I mean, there's some past history, but yeah, for this match, it is kind of a quick build. This is one of those matches I'm really looking forward to, though. Not a lot of them, but this is one of them.
Oh, it is. And then we get Solo and the MFT show up, and now we're pulling at family strings a little bit again. Bro, I can't do Bloodline 2.0, 2.5, 3.0, whatever it is. I'll lose my crap. But it is interesting to say the least. But
be more Bloodline stories than Fast and Furious movies,
Woo!
But no,
but this ends up being Tamatanga and Jacob Fatu getting set up. We get Royce Keys video, kind of a reintroduction to Royce Keys to help you get to know him. And, Berto becomes a sacrificial lamb a little bit. Okay. Royce Keys is one of those ones where I want to see more, but not right now, right?
I'm pretty sure he'll probably be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal or something like that this Friday. He could be the winner of it. Who knows?
All right. Now we're on. Pat McAfee, in your notes, with a better truck, shows, basically gives all this crap, which was actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
He bumps into Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll's like, yo, dude, why are you in on this? And then, Pat thinks Pat thinks he is an insider. I think he is, and Jelly Roll almost cracks him in the face. So, I don't know. It's starting. We're ramping up, right?
Well, you know what this is leading to. Yeah. Backlash after Mania, you're going to see a tag match with, Pat and Randy and Cody and Jelly.
So long as it's at Backlash and not Mania, I'm good.
No, they're not going to put it. Where you going to put it WrestleMania? You can't change it. So.
Yeah, no, it's WrestleMania week. So Kathy Kelly interviews Royce Keys. Royce ends up talking to Solo. Solo's just recruiting everybody, man. Like, Solo's just on a recruiting bender right now. Like, okay.
Well, I suspect that very soon there's going to be one less person in the MFT. It's going to build the band back up.
All right. So Pat McAfee comes out. He's obviously getting heat right now, which is, I think, a fair and a good thing. I don't know if the reason he's getting heat is a good thing, but neither here nor there. He's doing heel tropes 101 as he goes through all this. I like that he rebutted CM Punk, talking crap about him. He basically takes credits for 25% off on Saturday tickets, which is chef's kiss.
Then he shits all over Sunday night. Like, totally.
I know, it's
I'm like, oh my God. I'm telling you, he's the angry fan. He's the neglected, angry fan that's sick and tired of how things are going. And now
I said that. Like, I really do think that he's supposed to be representative of the fan that kind of has been lost in the sauce. And I hate to say it. It's almost like he's like, I don't want to say he's like, I know he pimps the Attitude Era, but like, it's not Attitude Era guy. It's, I want something other than PG, right? Guy.
Yep.
And
it's just that right now, Pat McAfee, he's starting to remind me of Michael Douglas and Falling Down. Especially when Michael Douglas's character wants breakfast, and he misses it by 5 minutes, and he won't make breakfast, so he pulls out his gun. That's like the Pat McAfee's starting to get into that role. So a lot of people hating this whole promo. I thought I don't. It's fun. Like, I enjoyed it.
Don't. I like that he doesn't stop. Right? So, like, Cody kind of drops some stuff, calls him a fake, blah, blah, blah. And Pat kind of throws it right back at him. I like that he can go tit for tat, right? Like, and we keep on hearing, like, dude, if Randy doesn't win, you won't ever see me again. And on one hand, I'm like, kind of foreshadowing because he was kind of on the outs anyways. I think he was a late ad, but on the flip side, I'm kind of like, maybe you put Randy over just so you had the option to go back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know what? Because I think he'll go away for WWE, but I think he'll at some point will always come back for something.
I personally think Randy should go over anyways, but
that actually kind of tipped me off into like, oh, Randy's going over, because we're going to see even after this story's over.
You can make the argument both ways, though. Like, if Pat really was done with WWE, can't squeeze it in his schedule. Like, I don't even know if you could put him at the desk again. Actually, I would put him at the desk again, except now instead of like going back and forth with freaking Michael Cole, Now, like he shuns Michael Cole and starts hanging out with Corey Graves. Like, how good would that be? Like, you know,
Really, as long as there's no Joe Tessitore or Wade Barrett involved, I'm good with it. Dumpst- that dumpster fire of announce team needs to go. I mean, every SmackDown we comment on it in our chat. Like, oh my gosh, it's in my notes.
well,
half
that's
the time.
because Tessitore, God, Tessitore, like, he tries to deliver like a really good wrestling commentary lines. Like, the content's good, but his delivery is so bad that like it just comes off as shit, and he sucks the energy out of everything. And when he tries to be excited about something, he's
Yeah. Did you see that?
not in a good way.
The damage done, like he says, dumb things.
But then, like there'll be something exciting happen, and he plays it straight, and I'm just like, really, bro, really? Is this what we're doing? Like, I don't know.
Because then you got Michael Cole who like pops for everything. I mean, if you watch when they have the camera on Cole, he's up and down and up all over the place, and Tessitore just kind of stuck in neutral. I can't even get it in 4 low.
So we get a brawl out of this with Jelly Roll. We get it with Pat McAfee, Randy, and and they end up, I don't know. Randy like belts Cody with the belt, and I'm probably one of the only people in the world going, "Yay, do it again!" But I mean, they're getting heat, but I don't think they're getting heat on Randy. I think it's only Pat that's getting booed. And, like, I don't know how. It's so weird.
I
But
heard
it's
I heard a few boos for Randy, but I think it's the hardline Cody fans, or it's just the people that are pissed at Randy because he's doing this with Pat because they can't stand Pat. So who knows?
That's what I think it is. And I think if you remove Pat from the equation, do you get anything more? Any heat on Randy? No.
No,
Because
that's why I
like
think
every time he eviscerates Cody, the crowd's like, do it more. And it's like,
I really think that was an 11th hour edition. I think they realized Randy wasn't getting the heat. I bet you that Pat McAfee probably wasn't even supposed to be the person on the phone. It was probably supposed to
they
be
don't
somebody
know.
else. Huh?
They didn't know who it was supposed to be, which is retarded. I don't know. Like, I'll reserve all judgment until
If
the
they
match
realized
goes
that,
down.
like, oh shit, we can't get Randy over as a heel. Let's bring in Pat McAfee, like, to at least try to get some heat. So Pat's basically a goalie. He's taking all the heat. He's deflecting all the heat off Randy.
Sure. All right. So we get Jacob Fatu and Tamatanga. I think, believe it or not, I think this story is more about Tamatanga than it is Jacob, like in this specific match, which is fine. Like, the writing is on the wall for that as well, right? Like, he's going to break free at some point. Let my people go and all, but it'll be interesting. It was a good match. I had fun with it.
Yeah, no, it was good. And then your comments about in the chat about Drew having trouble with handcuffs. Well, I guess there's a reason why they use those specific handcuffs. I guess sometimes wrestlers got hurt or something like that, so they're the safest ones that they can use. But they look
They
ridiculous.
are not the most secure handcuffs because he handcuffed him like 4 freaking times.
Well, I'm
But
sitting there looking at the length of the chain. I'm just waiting for Fatu to start jumping it like jump rope because like the chain was like so damn long. All right, so am I detained? But
start choking him out.
The brawl was pretty good, and we got a little bit more. Fatu got busted open again. I think we're hinting. I think we're going to see a change at WrestleMania. Maybe it's just me being a hopeful optimist. I think this WrestleMania might allow for a little bit more bloodletting than we've seen in the past.
We'll see.
Tessitore's a moron, but he was hyping it up. This is going to, or Wade Barrett was saying this should be a bloodbath at WrestleMania. But they've said that in the past. And then when Punk cut his promo talking about when I walk out of WrestleMania, face caked in blood, and I was like, okay, are we going? Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, we're done talking about Punk.
We're not on Raw yet, right? We're not on Raw. Okay, cool. Nope, still SmackDown. Cool. My bad.
I'm just wondering if
Anyway.
they're going to try to make a turn to kind of go back to that route, but they've teased it before and then they've let us down.
So we get a quick little backstage with Kit Wilson
So are you
and
snoring
The
because I
Miz.
mentioned CM Punk, or were you just snoring because I was going on a jaunt?
Punk. Good, we'll get into it, man. I'm
Right.
so over his shit too. But we get a quick little backstager with Kit and The Miz with all this, and they're complaining about the ref who got the cramp because he got cursed. And it gets announced that it's Kit Wilson and Danhausen, and Miz is just losing his crap. And the best part about it is the rest of us at home are like, crap, we're gonna see Danhausen wrestle. So I just
and I like that they had another R-Truth and Danhausen moment, at the ESPN booth. It was funny.
It was.
So
I like that they just sprinkle it in. Just
Man,
a little bit.
If you look back over our first season, we talked a lot of R-Truth. There was some parts, especially if you go back into last, I'll say May and June-ish, when R-Truth got let go, and then he came back and had his run with Cena, which, by the way, was some of our highest viewed shorts, especially when we nailed the prediction of Ron Cena coming out. So,
whoop, whoop.
Yep. Man, I just want to take this, we're on the anniversary show. I just, another
always recap.
Spike the football moment. But no, so it's funny. We started the podcast and like Austin R-Truth got this big push, and here we are, end of year one, in the beginning of year two, and now we got Danhausen and R-Truth.
So happy. So happy because
two of our four untouchables.
The best of the Danhausen R-Truth was Priest following it up. It's so now it's not Oscar. He goes, what are you talking about? That's Danhausen. I was dying. Love it. I know. It's just good. It kills me every time, man. I just, we get our typical backstage, Rhea's just running through, cleaning out, Jade Cargill's crew. Okay, the Glommer comes out, and he came out, and I was just so and he got booed.
Yeah.
He got booed. That is your WrestleMania main eventer next year getting booed.
You've heard it here first, folks.
We get the typical gingerbread man stuff is killing me. It was Trick, though. I love it so much.
The Yachty with the T-shirt, with the gingerbread man sewn on the T-shirt or iron on. He's in all white with the gingerbread man on his shirt. It was hysterical.
I was dying, dude. And in our text chat, or I'm just throwing out Shrek memes from not my gingerbread buttons. Oh my God. And it's just so good with all this because by all wrestling tropes, Trick Williams should lose. By all the tropes, everything that he has done up to this point, cocky guy, blah, blah, blah. Everything says Trick should lose. And for me, I think you swerve and let him win. And yes, I'm biased because I just want Trick Williams on the mic all the time. I want him in the ring because he talks shit in the ring too. And I just love that. Right? And when they
having some gold around his waist too that he can brag about with his lemon pepper steppers and his fancy sunglasses and all that.
Dude, Trick Williams has become clips on social media of Trick Williams talking is a must stop and listen thing for me. I love his stuff so much. And nothing will beat the, ginger ale, gingerbread, that promo that he cut the other week. But my God, man, I just, give me all the Trick, man. Because everything about that dude, they're just nailing it, in my opinion. They're just nailing it to the freaking wall. I love his entrance too. It's just got, you know how we talk about aura sometimes, right? or lack thereof, he has aura. And that entrance is all about aura. And it is so retardedly simple and was like, whew. I just love that. And yeah, I think I think people don't realize, like, everybody's over Sami Zayn. And I know that's part of the story arc, but I'm over Sami Zayn.
Yeah,
we know he's turning heel, just do it.
Yeah,
a lot of people are going double turn.
No, I think Trick's basically a face, and I wouldn't change his character one bit. Why it's working? Keep it going.
He's a tweener.
Yeah,
he's a tweener.
Let him fight both sides. He can piss everybody off on either side. But what'd you think of Sammy when he's talking about, I'm confused with the booers, but then he says he doesn't care. It's all his ride or die fans that really matter, and
the problem is
it's pretty pathetic.
Your Sami Zayn character is so, we've been saying it for a while now. He needs a character change, which they're working on. But the problem is that he's been the underdog for so long that the underdog shtick doesn't work anymore. And it's tired anyways. And then it just, like, you're just like, you know, I don't know what you do with him. I mean, let him go heel. He can dress up like Fidel Castro again or whatever. And whatevs,
He was funny. His last heel run was funny when he was in that getup. It was, just don't make it anything stupid. But anyway, we had a good talk about Matt Cardona on our chat. Because I know you want.
I think Matt Cardona is actually getting a nudge. He's taking L's, so don't get me wrong. He's taking L's right now. But
he's injured.
He's getting, sure.
Storyline, he's injured. And he's almost,
He's taking L's, but he's getting a lot of high-profile matches. He's like your tune-up guy, right? He's like your last tune-up guy for a lot of these guys. And, like, it's showing. But I think you're probably going to do something kind of significant with him in the after Mania. Maybe not world title. I'm thinking mid-card. But you're going to see a push with Cardona, and I wouldn't be surprised. They're just kind of exposing you over and over and over again. And like I said, he's been the tune-up guy, right? Like, it's like boxers back in the day. They'd have a fight before the big fight, and it was like their tune-up fight. That's what Cardona's kind of become, right? So, yeah, I love me some Cardona.
They put on a really good match too. I think that was a good warm up for Trick going into WrestleMania.
I think so.
We got to see a lot more Trick than we normally do, so I liked it. And then of course, Yachty at ringside taking out Sammy and all the extracurricular stuff. It was funny.
Yeah, and it's not going away. So, then we get a fun match after that. Like, see, at this point in SmackDown, I'm having fun. I'm really having fun in this SmackDown, right? Like, I like the Cardona match, and now we get Danhausen and Kit Wilson, and Danhausen goes over, which we all knew he was going to. But, like, I like that Danhausen is simple. There's something to be, like, do I ever expect him in a world title picture? Absolutely freaking not. But he's simple. He's so simple. And, like, even the little crazy crap where, like, he drops the curse on Kit Wilson and, like, the pyro goes off, and it's just, like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I liked it. It was entertaining, straight comedy. I liked it. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The fans loved it. So I guess he's like just killing it on merch. I guess his merch is like,
oh my God. Well, what's funny too is, so like merch is usually like the metric. And like, I've seen a couple of like social media clips this week, not directly about Danhausen, but like they'll be talking about Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. And they're like, oh yeah, he's like the #1 merch seller. They're like, is he selling more shirts than Danhausen? They're like, well, because Danhausen's killing it. And like, the best part about Danhausen, and I saw a picture of it this week on social media, there's the kids are gravitating towards him. The kids are putting on face paint to look like Danhausen. Bro, they got a gold mine. They found their connection to the younger audience. Because I'll give you the best example. My daughter's
But it's not insulting to the older fans either. It's entertaining for us as well, which makes it even better.
Well, what's funny is, so we were watching, I think it wasn't this SmackDown, it was the week before. And the whole Danhausen thing happens. And my daughter's like, what's up with that guy? So I start giving her the backstory. She's like, why, asking all the questions that everybody asks, like, why does he have a jar of teeth? I was like, oh, we'll find out. Like, it's his thing, and like, it took 3 minutes and probably 3 clips of showing her stuff from Danhausen. And she goes, that's my wrestler. Like that. Sold. 13-year-old just glommed right onto Danhausen. Because he's must-watch TV, because he's hilarious. And, like, he resonates with the younger audience. You don't need everybody to be a Randy Orton. You don't need everybody to be Braun Breaker. You don't need everybody to be Big Show. Insert wrestler here. We also don't need wrestling to be PG. You can bump it up a notch, and you can go PG-13 now. Right? Like, I'm not saying go full R, right? Like, we don't need to go back to Jello wrestling and craziness like that,
No,
but
TV 14 you can go, or whatever is, they used to be TV 14.
I think that there needs to be a reality check in society where 9 times out of 10, what's the worst that's going to happen in wrestling that would be offensive to kids? Cursing, dude, I've cursed through all my kids' lives, so I am who I am. Tag me as a bad parent. I don't care.
Wardrobe malfunction. You got a delay for it.
But the point is you can kind of appeal to a wider audience. And like, Danhausen should not go away, should not change, and do what you're doing with him. And I love the fact that he's just rolling with this. I'm undefeated. Like, all this week, like, going into WrestleMania, I should have match. I am undefeated. I'm like 8-0 in curses and 1-0 in matches. I am a Hall of Famer. Like, love.
Is he counting triple curse and Kit Wilson in this match? Was that 6, 7, and 8 right there? Well, you got to now. Oh boy, we're going to do Steiner math, because now he's got a -1 because he had to uncurse the referee.
No, I think he still counts all of them though.
Okay,
the curse still worked.
Yeah, true.
The curse still worked. So it's so brilliant. And the best part about it is he resonates with a demographic that WWE's really been trying to glom onto, which is like social media. And he's really good at social media.
Yes.
Anywhere they send him. Like, right before we came on, I was like, there was a thing on X where he's sitting in like an Undertaker throne. He's like, this would be great, except it needs wheels and a recline. Like, he's going through this laundry list of shit that it's got. And I'm just like, my God, that guy is brilliant. So brilliant.
What would be really hilarious to do if he does show up in WrestleMania? Because they'll have the big ramp because it's at the stadium. He needs to drive down a PT Cruiser.
No. He needs to escape, except he's only like a quarter of the way up.
But no, you know how he always talks about he loves PT Cruisers, so they need to do a PT Cruiserhausen.
Cruiserhausen. I don't know. WrestleMania Hausen. I don't know. But after that.
So did you hear the story that, because Danhausen was talking about having his face on the Sphere, that I guess WWE and TKO have been talking to the Sphere. I guess they're trying to negotiate and see how much it would cost to put Danhausen on the Sphere.
Do it. Do it.
It's not cheap, but can you imagine?
Do it. I'm telling you right now, he is the golden ticket. Give me one other wrestler in all of WWE that can resonate with the younger audience like he can. Because nothing he does, he doesn't even really do innuendo either. Like, actually, The greatest clip I saw this week was he shows up and CM Punk is like doing the autograph marathon. You know what I mean? Sign it, pull, pull, and Danhausen shows up, and like 10 seconds in, freaking Punk goes into his wallet, grabs all the cash out of his wallet, and like Danhausen's like, gimme. He like gives him the money, and Danhausen goes away. It's so awesome. Like Punk has cracked the Danhausen code. Like, just feed him money, he'll go away.
Like, I think they're close friends. They're
They
very
are.
close friends, so they do a lot of funny stuff together too.
I just love that though. Like, as soon as Danhausen started, CM Punk's just like, he didn't even count it either. He just went in, grabbed all the cash that was in his wallet, and was like, go away. It's just so good.
Oh my God, it's funny.
Okay, that was fun. Back on track. Io and
Yes.
Rhea backstage, hugging it out.
Yeah. Oof, all
And
right.
then we get what I've been saying. We end SmackDown, and it totally derailed all my emotions and feelings for the rest of the show. Because the Jade Io thing, I'm torn. Because this was probably the best I've seen Jade Cargill look in a ring since being in WWE. But the ending was kind of, huh? So, I don't know.
Were they running? I should have looked, but were they running low on time? Well, no, I had issues because I taped it because I was watching Spaceship Land, so I didn't know what time it was. So maybe they were running short on time. I had to go. They probably were getting the call. The ref was getting the call to tell them to like take it home because it did. It felt really rushed. My problem is with Io Sky is last year she was WrestleMania. She was world champion. Now she's not even on the card. Like, what a big difference in a year. But nor is Tiffany
Who do you
Stratton.
take off? Who do
Tiffany
you take
Stratton.
off? Who do you take off? I'm asking.
I don't know.
Like, that's the thing. Like, when you look at the WrestleMania card as a whole, there's a lot of stuff that makes sense, right?
Mhm.
Like, so, hold on. Now, I know we're doing our preview show Monday.
I still think they're going to add one more match to Sunday to even it up.
I think so, but
Maybe
let's go
Maybe
here.
on SmackDown something will happen. Or something will happen the night of. They'll have an impromptu match.
But let's talk about this real quick. Because, like, everybody keeps on saying this crap, but, like, what do you take off? Right? Don't worry about the who's in it, right? Because you take a person out, you're putting a person in, right? So, Punk Reigns, you're not changing that one.
Nope.
Randy Cody, ain't changing that one. Stephanie Vakir and Liv Morgan, ain't changing that one. Jade Cargill, you ain't changing that one. So, like, what are you taking out? You know what I mean? It just...
Yeah, no, because right now there's really no filler. Where WrestleMania used to have filler matches, there's really no filler right now.
No. So, hold on. Let's see. What else do we got?
Maybe I would call you popcorn match, but it's kicking off like the whole weekend. The whole show is Usos and LA Knight and ISHO Speed and the Vision. That's almost kind of your
But
popcorn.
you crammed 5 out of 6 wrestlers into that.
Exactly. Oh, I'm not complaining.
Right. So, okay, hold on. I got more. So, Intercontinental Championship, AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. The unsanctioned match, Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, you don't pull that match for nothing.
You have 4 teams, 4 female teams battling for the women's tag team titles. Who are you taking out? Tell me. Who are you taking out? Logan Paul, Austin Theory, ISHO Speed, the Usos, and LA Knight. Who are you taking out?
I would have taken the Bella Twins out and put the Kabuki Warriors in because then you could have had the finality of the Kyrie Sane story.
I think
I wonder if there is a possibility that maybe Nikki is hurt, legit, and she may not make WrestleMania, or they're going to use this as a storyline to pull the Bellas out and put Kabuki Warriors in, and then you can finish the Kyrie Sane story.
Or you could just pull them out and make an ad hoc team with Io Sky and Stratton.
You could do that too.
Seth Rollins, Gunther. Who are you taking out? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love that everybody
you gotta cancel Oba Brock. There'll be nothing left for Las Vegas.
Trick Williams, Sami Zayn. Like, as much heat as you can give.
Finn and Dom. That's
Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, Rey Mysterio. All in the same match.
I'm not even going to address that because it'd be silly too.
there's only so much. There's only so much that you can take out. Right? Listen, you and I have lived through it. The 8 hours of WrestleMania, and we're probably pushing that a little bit, right? We've lived through it. So who are you taking out? There's just not enough WrestleMania to go around. So what's going to happen? Well, yes, you're going to get some matches, the run backs at Backlash, but, I don't know what you do, right? There's a lot of talent on the roster.
Well, that you could say, well, they used to run 13, 14 matches on a one-night WrestleMania, but you had guys that would wrestle like 2-3 minutes. You really want to, just to get them on the show, what are they going to do in 3 minutes that's going to add to their character or storyline?
And that's why you use SmackDown, which they are.
Yes.
Right?
SmackDown
so
before WrestleMania is a big one.
SmackDown and Raw are both still in Vegas. Mm-hmm. So kick it off big. All those people that you do not get to see at Mania get their love at SmackDown. Those that you couldn't get in there get their love at Raw with a sprinkling of the other people. It is what it is, man. Like, I get the arguments because on the surface, the people making the arguments probably have a legitimate gripe, right? Like, why aren't we seeing Tiffany Stratton? So I'm very, I want people to be aware of that. Like, we're getting very robust cards.
Yes.
The WrestleMania cards are good.
Yeah.
On paper.
Yeah. The buildup has been
But the problem is, I think it's an oversaturation problem. The more we talk about it, right? Like, it's an oversaturation problem right now because there's so much talent, right? So I have to build, but I also got to keep these people in the limelight so that afterwards they get their love. Like, there's only so much to go around, man. And yeah. But yeah.
But there's not a match on the card that I'm going to say like, oh, that's a waste of time. I don't see it. Because a lot of people are crapping on AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Becky alone will be entertaining enough for the both of them, which makes it worthwhile for me. So
yeah, and that's got a storyline behind it,
yes.
Right? Like, that's the thing.
And I'm pretty sure we might see. Do you think we see Becky's daughter?
Oh my God,
wearing an AJ Lee T-shirt sitting ringside.
Just
I put it out there. Woo! We're an hour in and we're just finishing up SmackDown, but that's all right.
There's a lot to pick apart and there's a lot to talk about, even without going into the specific matches. And, we have to say it all. So, Raw kicks off great. Roman, credit to him, can do a recorded promo like nobody's business.
Yeah, that was good.
I liked it and I appreciated it, so.
No, I did too. I liked it. And I liked how it kind of transitioned right into from that to going to Triple H and Pierce in the ring. It was kind of a good way of the opening segment. I like it when they break it up because a lot of times the show they do the walk-ins. The wrestlers walking in from the parking lot with their bags, and this was kind of nice because I think we opened right up with the video package of Roman. Like it was no fluff. It went right into it, and I thought that was like really strong.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because like when they started doing the follow-ins, we were like, oh, we kind of like this. And now it's kind of like, I kind of like the video package right out the gate, So I like it all. Give me it all. And then like, you remember how I commented that simple is sometimes better, right? This contract signing is smart. It makes perfect sense. So good the way they did it. Like, okay, we tried to put you both in the ring at the same time. That was no bueno. So we're going to do one at a time. And then with Paul Heyman out there being the hype man, chef's kiss, man. It's simple and it made sense.
Yeah, there's nothing earth shattering. My question, I don't know if did Brock actually sign the contract?
Well, he walked right in and signed it.
Did he? Okay, because I know Oba did, but I think I was too
he signed it.
All right, because I was watching Paul because Paul was getting ready
No,
to get rolling.
because Corey or somebody made a comment on commentary that like, well, that was quick and easy. Like,
Okay.
he literally
Okay.
walked in, snatched it, signed it, handed it back. Like, boom, done.
Yeah.
You know?
No, really well done. And yeah, Paul gave a straight ahead promo. Paul's done a great job. This has probably been the best hyped WrestleMania match on the whole show. I think they've done the
It's
best
so
job
good.
of hyping it up by far.
Because it's simple. And like, I think we touched on it. Like, the emotion conveys through this, right? Like, and it's very simple and it makes sense. So we're all just like, yeah, that. And like, I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, and you know what else I love, Matt? This whole I show speed and the vision thing, love it. Because like, they're not lying to him. They're not wrong. They're just like, you're already screwed. At least we got your back. And I'm just like,
for now or for a while.
but I don't think they do him dirty. I don't
No?
think they do. No. I think
You think
Speed will
they're gonna turn Speed heel? Like he's like, man, these guys are cool. It ends up, or no?
No, I think you do it in a way. It's going to be a fine line. Like, I think the faces go over in this, but I think that honestly, if he's around and willing to do Backlash, I would actually have them go over at Mania, and then, you know, leading up to Backlash, that's where the rift happens. But it's all about receipts, right? Maybe Speed starts getting his receipts in. Like, I don't know. I just, they're not wrong. Because reasonable people would go back to the replay and be like, oh, Speed screwed up, right? And now they're, you know, but LA Knight's in the wrong. He's chasing after Speed right now. Like the Usos too. And it's like, well, if you go back and watch, it wasn't intentional. And y'all are just like, so you guys are
Overreacting.
kind of the assholes in this, right? Like, and on top of that, now you got Austin Theory and Logan Paul, like, man, just hang out with us. It like, it's kind of a really weird role reversal heel face thing where, like, believe it or not, the Vision's kind of the face in this because
Because even the training
there's-
video, you know, they're all like, you know, Logan Paul's trying to, you know, it was like a Rocky montage, you know, when they're in the ring working with Speed, like no harder and do this, run into me and all that stuff, and then so who knows? Yeah, it came across like very rah facey looking like. And I'm watching. I'm like, this is weird. It was kind of weird. Like it was cool, but it was weird because it's just like they're supposed to be the bad guys. So, like, instead of teaching them collar and elbows, shouldn't he be teaching more egregious tactics?
yeah, I think they're playing it straight.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, let's get on through the show because I think we got some possible things going on in the background.
Yeah, we're trying here, but technology is hard, so
Yeah, here we go.
I keep on sending out the same link, and they're like, we can't get in. I was like, come on now. So after that, we get
That's
Lyra Valkyria and Charlotte Flair. And this was like another like fun little match, man. Like I was enjoying this.
No, that was
So-
this one really. Oh, the first hour of Raw last night I thought was really good.
Yeah.
It was like really good. I'm like, well, they're doing a good job, and then stuff happens. We'll get to that. Yeah, I liked it. I like the fact that Lyra went over. So like everybody for every team's been eating losses and taking wins. So it's all kind of evened out in the wash, as they say.
I know, but we just keep on going round and round and round and round and round.
I have to say though, I kind of like the Becky, Lyra, Alexa, Charlotte little thing they've been going back and forth with. I think that's going to get revisited depending on what happens with the
And this
women's
is the
tag
best.
next weekend.
This is the
This
best
weekend.
I've seen Lyra look in a while too. So like
Yeah.
people are coming
Yeah.
out, man.
She had a little attitude last night, a little aggressive. I liked it.
There was a lot of aggression because you know what happened next? Stephanie Fakir and Kathy Kelly are having a talk, and Liv Morgan just goes, and
Bananas.
this is what I was asking Nick about. I was like, is this a Jersey thing? I don't know, but
Kathy
That
Kelly
had,
got
like-
like wiped out too.
yes. And then obviously, like we've been talking about it tonight, like the Io Sky and Kabuki Warriors story that's going on. And honestly, the more we talk about it, the more we say it. I really like the idea that, like, let that one breathe. Let's not cram it into Mania. We can let that breathe and build it up to Backlash. I don't have a problem with that. Tell me more story. So.
Good. I mean, there's plenty of stories going around anyway.
Yeah, well, that's kind of my point. Like, where do you want to put it? Like, I'd rather let it breathe and give it a legitimate match.
Yeah.
Than just trying to curb stomp it in.
Yeah, it might if you do it at WrestleMania with everything going on over 2 nights, it might get lost in the shuffle.
Correct. All right, so we're back to eating. We changed up the intro though. It's just me. It's just us now. So I picked up on that right away. And now Jimmy's eating too. So hopefully he gets some commercials on top of that, getting those Cricket 5G commercials. But they defeat the MFTs, who, again, Solo backstage just recruiting and talking shit to everybody, right? Like, hey, family, So whatever, dude.
Yeah. I still like that Jay calls him little brother. Or was it Jimmy that called that Solo little brother?
One of them did. Yeah. And then we finally get a piece of emotion out of Gunther.
Hey, real quick, before that, with the match with the MFTs, like Tonga comes out late, shows up late, Solo asks him where he's been. What do you think Tom has been? Talking with Shin?
Hanging out with Shin? I don't know.
Talk about New Japan.
I think he's a little disenfranchised right now, so it's like,
So do you think you're going to see that divorce happen with, or the split in the MFT Friday night on SmackDown? Because they're fighting the Wyatts again on SmackDown, I think.
They are. It's the Street Brawl 5-on-5 or whatever. Sure. 4-on-4, 5-on-5. All kids in the pool. The big bash blowout.
So between that and the Battle Royal, bodies will just be flying everywhere.
That's right. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Wait a minute, 5-on-5?
4-on-5? I don't know. Street fight or whatever. They're all just going to beat the holy hell out of each other. So that's nine people not in the Battle Royal.
Okay.
So Gunther and Seth get into it. Seth's like, why the hell are you doing this? Right? Like, and we get the typical Gunther answer of, you think you're better than me kind of shit. And I'm like, can we have something more out of that? Like, I get that, like, Gunther is the consummate professional. Like, I understand that about his character. But on the flip side, I'm just like, bro, a little bit more, man. Just a little more substance. Like, I must be great only goes so far. And it only resonates so far. So, I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. That's Sean's.
Didn't Gunther also say something about when Seth had the title, he never offered him a chance or something like that? He mentioned something briefly. It was hard to understand him because he was yelling, but I thought the intensity was good, which I like to see. The brawling was. I like how they just brawl and then they talk about it like men and then they go back to brawling. So very civilized. Well done.
So after all this, we get, and again, folks, bubble wrapping storylines, right? It's fairly safe to have, the beat 'em up segment and, just go forward. So bubble wrapping storylines, but
I agree.
So then we get this we talked about this earlier, the backstage with Adam Pearce and Dominic Mysterio.
It's not fair. It's not fair.
It's like, my dad shouldn't be going for my IC title. He's like, he's a Hall of Famer. He's like, no, he's not. He's like, he's a Hall of Famer. Like, he didn't back down. He just kind of shot on him. Like, go look in the effing mirror. I was like, oh, this is so good. So good. Like, I love that.
He's
Like
mad that
Pierce was not hearing
cancel the
any
match.
of it.
It's a demon. Cancel the match. It's not what I signed for.
Yeah.
Dom plays such a good cowardly heel. You know he's channeling Eddie in certain things. He's so good at it.
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure. But all right, so Asuka interferes in this Io Sky Kyrie Sane match, which I don't know. Like Kyrie Sane is such a weird wrestler for me because like there are times she's just on it, and then there's times where it just ain't it. Right? Like I'm like, oh my God, she's killing it. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, this
But,
one was.
you know, it was just.
Yeah, it was flat. It was nothing really to get too excited about.
No.
Again, playing it safe. Don't want anybody getting.
Oh, we got the Nick. Nick
Hey!
popping in. Nick Club Wrestling. Nick, how the hell is it going, man? And we're all froze now. I'm on crappy hotel internet, and we're not getting any audio from you, bro. Good heavens. All right. Keeping the tradition alive of technical issues. I don't know why Nick's audio isn't coming in. He dropped. Well, Nick came in, said hi, waved a glass in the air, but Nick was popping in. Were you hearing him?
No, I couldn't hear him.
I couldn't hear him either, and his sound bars on the side screen weren't moving either. So,
Okay.
like,
It
wasn't me.
Well, hopefully he'll try to come back in with us. So let's try to get through some of this stuff. Huh?
Yeah, let's drive on, man. Like, we just plow through. But, no.
If you see him in the lounge, and bring him in. We'll take to it.
He obviously figured out how to connect.
There we go.
All right. So now we get part 2 of the Obafemi and Brock Lesnar contract signing. And we get Nick back. God, I hope he has audio this time.
Audio?
Hey!
Woo!
Yeah!
There we go.
We did the thing. Cheers, fellas. Cheers.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Cheers.
Happy wrestling holidays.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Mania week, 1 year anniversary for our pod.
Yeah,
Thanks
happy
for
anniversary.
dropping in.
Wrestleversary.
Thank you.
I don't know. There's got to be a better
Anniversary. So, all right, Nick. So, obviously, Matt and I are going to do previews going into this weekend. But I got to ask you, I got 2 questions for you that Matt and I have been talking about tonight. So, question 1. What is the match that you're most looking forward to this weekend?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think through. I like it's funny because it's one of those things that I like the card as a whole. So off the top of my head, I'm and normally I'd probably be one match or that, but that's the one thing I love about WrestleMania is I feel like it's usually the culmination of a lot of storylines or a lot of big momentum boosts for people coming to a head. I'm trying to think offhand, whatever. I'm excited. I just put the package together. I love not for a title. I really wish it was for the Intercontinental title, but the Dom Finn match I think is going to be great. I love the build that's had. We've talked about the Judgment Day breaking up for how long, and essentially the Judgment Day is now finally, whatever is going to happen. I think there's going to be some weird iteration of this group beyond, obviously, post-Mania, but to me, I'm always a big storyline guy, so, that's the one that has the most build, and, off the top of my head, that's what I really like. If you're a just pure chaos anarchy person, I think the Oba Brock match is something that you're really going to be into.
I'm so looking forward to that. I know what you're saying about storyline, but the build for that has just been perfect.
It has.
Just the right amount. And it's simple. So simple.
Well, those guys, that's what makes sense with those guys, because they're just monsters that should just be beating the hell out of each other and destroying everything. My question is really how do you go from, literally they've destroyed everyone in security. They got to the point where literally he pushed him over a table. Through a table. But just kind of pushed him, and they were still just brawling it was just nothing. So if a table's treated like that in your feud, what are you going to do at WrestleMania? And ESPN, it's opening night 2 with that crossover, they're going to do some craziness, but it's also the beginning of night too. So like, I don't know how you build up from what they've already started.
So Lesnar's going to do a shooting star press
Through a table, like
God.
through the announce table? Yeah, like at this point in time.
Just saying. All right. So that was question one. So I'm sure you've seen it and caught wind of this like through the internets for the last couple of weeks, right? So we start talking about who's not on the card, right? So, you know, Tiffany Stratton is not on the card. Right now, Io Sky is not on the card. You know, Asuka, Kyrie Sane, not on the card.
Ilya
Which is-
Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes.
Dragunov.
Yeah, Carmel, yeah.
Yep.
So, and I
Well-
understand in a vacuum, we look at these wrestlers and we go, well, Carmelo Hayes obviously should be in WrestleMania, right? But here's the problem. Matt and I earlier walked down the whole card. Who do you trade out? Right? Like, what's your take on that? Like, at the end of the day, like, yes, they have a glut of talent, right? There's so much talent out there. Who do you bump off of WrestleMania? Because right now the card is fairly full, fairly robust, and on paper is probably a really good card, right? So, what are you taking out to get a Tiffany Stratton? You know what I'm saying?
Well, no.
Like,
So your point is fair, and Nikki and I argued over this on Friday on our show. It was the same thing. It's like, because Io Sky was the person that I said, like, because Io is just one of the best wrestlers in the world. And she's been tag champion this past year with Rhea. I think she deserves a right to be in that storyline. You could have argued that she could have been in a triple threat in some form or fashion. Io, to me, probably is the biggest snub. Tiffany, no, because she only returned at Royal Rumble, so she only has that short stint of momentum to me, where, you know, you could be kept off the card because you don't have enough to get there. Carmelo, I get that. He did the open challenges for a while, you know, the 6 weeks, which is great, and I think he's like honorary mention, maybe first runner-up or whatever, like silver medal, whatever you want to call it, because to me, it should have just been a triple threat. The whole Sammy Trick storyline, you can extend that out and still have Carmelo Trick one-on-one, which is basically what this main roster, I know you guys just only watch main roster, right? That's what we're headed towards on the main roster. They've exposed the NXT group to it. Now they're waiting to try and season it up. And you could have done a triple threat with Sami Zayn for the U.S. title and just found a way to keep that going.
yeah, but here's the problem. That story, and a lot of this we had already touched on, but that story is about Sami Zayn. It's not about Trick Williams. Trick Williams is the catalyst, but the story is about Sami Zayn. And, you know, so throwing Carmelo Hayes in there takes the glint off of the gingerbread man and puts it now on, because everybody's just going to be like, why is Sammy here? Get him the hell out of here. I just want to watch Trick and Carmelo go, right? And it kind of ties back to the Io Sky point too, which is something Matt and I were talking about earlier, which is you need to let some of these things they've been building for a while, and they need time to breathe, like a fine wine, right? Like you pop the cork and you let it breathe a little bit. Io Sky, Asuka, and Kyrie Sane, you got to pop the cork and let it breathe. And I'm telling you right now, I do not want a quick flash to bang, because even though I don't follow them externally, I know there's a history there between Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. I don't want to rush that either. Let it breathe. And then on top of that, too,
So to that point,
like,
I just want to because to that point though, if Sami Zayn is the main focus, which I agree with you, right, of this story, why not have him? First off, I don't think he should have even been the champion to begin with, but why not have him in a triple threat match and take the pin? And this is just keeps him on that trajectory, or, that lower trajectory of that downfall that eventually he turns.
So I will counter that with, we already know what Carmelo Hayes is, right? At least at this echelon, at this moment in time. We know what Ilya Dragunov is currently at this moment in time. We kind of, sort of, don't really, but kind of do know what Trick Williams is. So as much as the story is about Sami Zayn and whatever the hell is going to happen with him at Mania, there's also a subplot there of we're going to get to know Trick Williams really quick, fast, and in a hurry. And the reason why is, I was talking about this earlier, so like, I'd like to get your take on this. By every wrestling trope, Trick Williams should lose this match. By every trope. He's talking crap. He's the arrogant young and up-and-comer. It's his first Mania. Insert the 5 million excuses here. And I think he should go over. Because then we can get brooding, pissed off Sammy in the background. And we get arrogant. We get Trick Williams being Trick Williams. At least as I know him right now. And then that allows you to get Carmelo Hayes back in the mix. That lets Dragunov kind of weasel his way back in there. And I think you can get a lot of mileage out of that. Because just based off the segment they had, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams obviously have respect for each other.
Right.
But there's still a little bit more. Like, you could tell they respect each other, so it's not purely animosity like him and Sammy, Trick Williams and Sammy is. So it's like, I just want to let this one go and let's close the chapter on Sami Zayn. Then we can move forward.
That's a great
with
story.
Sammy brooding and crying.
So I would do Trick and Carmelo Hayes. I wouldn't do it any earlier than SummerSlam.
No.
One-on-one.
Agreed, yeah.
SummerSlam should be the first time they go one-on-one.
But that's the thing. You could still disguise that feud over the course of, we're in April now, SummerSlam's in the beginning of August. It's not even at the end like it used to be in previous years, right? So
That's
you
true.
don't have to stretch it out as much as you did. So at this point, we got this weekend. So now May, June. Yeah, you could find ways to find other challengers in there. Maybe have a situation where Trick, or whoever the heel is, presumably Trick, even though he's so over, attacks Mello and takes him out for a little bit. Something along the line. Or maybe there's some, if Trick's winning the belt, a United States Open challenge, but kind of like a wonky, he doesn't do it necessarily every week, right? Like, he defends it, a couple times to some people. You could get there. You could find your way to getting to SummerSlam. Even with, like I said, with the triple threat, I just think Sammy's definitely taking the loss. I hated how he hot potatoed having the U.S. title, and it was just it seemed as though it's not a surprise that Trick's in this match for the title, and that we're all pretty much, I think, unanimously in agreement on who's going to win moving forward, right? It's how we got here so last minute. It's like you had this whole time, at least post Rumble, to figure it out and build it up the right way instead of hot potatoing the U.S. title to Sami Zayn.
I'm not gonna hate it because it's a swerve, right? None of us thought Sammy was going over, but now it kind of, I don't know. There's got to be a little bit of shock and awe, right? When it's kind of like my bone of contention when they had the Last Time Is Now tournament. There was no swerve at all in that. And it was all chalk, right? We just went with what we went with. So, but now that I have my resident New Jersey guy here, I have Liv Morgan questions. So, is her spastic losing her shit thing that she did Monday night, was that just the Jersey coming out of her, or what?
It's so funny that you say that. So I put in our Discord, which I don't know if you guys are in a Discord. I gotta get you guys in the Discord. But in our Discord, I sent it. Someone tweeted out that it's a typical Saturday night at Bar A in New Jersey, which is a Jersey Shore bar, and it's Liv Morgan being held back by security, freaking out. And it's so funny because, it's exactly what, and Nikki and I were cracking up about it because it's kind of the same. But she, again, in my opinion, can do no wrong. I think she's arguably the top female heel in WWE. You could even argue the top female in WWE at this point in time. I don't see. I loved the idea at some point in time. I put this out there in the ethos, but I don't think it's happening now. Where especially with that match, I honestly think we were talking about, like, matches that I was interested in like, Dom and Finn, but, like, with Judgment Day, where they're headed, like, I saw a world where Stephanie Vaquer joins up with Dom Mysterio, and actually that's a next level for her. But I don't see that happening now, that the way that the pay-per-view is structured, because Dom's competing on Sunday night, and this match is Saturday night, so the way in the pecking order wouldn't necessarily make sense. But maybe...
No,
well, I guess maybe it makes more sense. Actually, now that I'm talking through it, maybe it does make more sense.
So he screws her over, right? And then he has his match. And then, like, there's this kind of will they, won't they thing because it's Finn. Like, and maybe you get a little Roxanne flavor in there screwing.
The only problem with that is that
there's a lot that you can play with.
There is, and it makes a lot of sense. But, like, the only problem if it's normal Finn Balor, but this is Demon Finn, and to do all that and have all that extra. I mean, maybe, but maybe Demon Finn could overcome. I don't know if JD. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't know. I just see it less. I see it less likely.
Life choices.
No, I know. I still loved it. I love the idea of them together because I think that's a way of, like, elevating Vaquer, because she's had the belt, and at this point it's like they gave her stacked her all these wins, but I don't even remember any of them at this point. And, like, what's next for her to do? And, like, everyone presumably picks Liv Morgan, and, like, even Liv Morgan, she's super over as a face to some point. She's kind of hybridized at this point as, like, a tweener, like, so you could get away with the fact that, like, not that it's a double turn, because I think Liv Morgan's right in the middle, but, like, it could be a double turn in a lot of ways and just have Dom be the cat.
1.5 turn? 1.5 turn?
Yeah, right. I would love it. I would love it because, like, I said it like a month ago and I was like, this sounds awesome, but I don't see an avenue for it. And I just, the way that it's structured, I don't see, I don't know. I feel like if it was reversed and, like, that was Sunday, it would 100% happen.
What do you think about her music video?
I just caught it.
Come on.
That was some of the most god-awful shit I've seen in a long time.
It's all, I didn't realize that, like, pop, I guess it's just pop, right? It was, like, coming back, and that was...
Yeah, it like was Britney Spears meets Christina Aguilera meets whatever.
It was.
Floozy at the time was big.
Dude, I thought it was a parody. I thought it was a parody at one point because some of this stuff in the video, I'm going...
Like an SNL short,
I thought it was a parody. So, well, the great news, Nick, so we're, like, on the home stretch of Raw here, so you could kind of ride along for a few if you want, because we're up to...
I'm still finishing it myself,
Dragon
so it's
Lee.
fun. Yeah. Well, no, I'm on the last...
I don't know if I want to ruin it.
No, go ahead.
All right, well, we're up to Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, defeating JD McDonough and Rusev. So... it was weird, but it all made sense because we're in WrestleMania season, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, right? Storylines and bubble wrap, right? We got to protect everybody, but we got to keep it interesting and sell our matches. So you get this incestuous Rubik's Cube of constantly changing all the people involved in these multi-person matches, right?
Yeah.
Like, women's tag is like the poster child for it. Like, we're just going to keep on shaking it up and see whoever comes out, right? So, any thoughts on that one? I thought it was a fun match. It was fun as hell.
Yeah.
It was fast, too.
I mean, it's kind of like what I expect. You want to expose the audience to everybody that's going to be in that match. Like, Rusev got a pretty... which deservedly so, but, like, it's kind of like, all right, we know you're about to take the big L in this one, buddy. Like, you're going to get that last minute WrestleMania push.
I think
you
that
say
was
that
meant...
there's a chance, is what you're saying.
I think the Rusev part was mainly to show you, because, like, when you look at the card, you go, one of these things is not like the other, and you're like, what is Rusev bringing to this match? And then he just, has this match where he just kind of flails everybody around, and you're like, okay,
yeah,
we'll see what you'll be doing.
He's the bowling ball, and the other 5 are the pins that he's going to knock around.
Seriously.
Yep.
I know, it's a shame, because, like,
exactly.
When he came back last year, was it right after Mania last year that he came back? Was him and Black, or is him and Aleister Black, I think, was Yeah, it's like 1 year.
Yeah, they
It
came
was
right around.
either right before or right after.
They were right around the
One of
same
the two.
time.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
yeah, they both came
But
back
they
the
were
same
with-
week. So, and it's just, you kind of, like, maybe two different trajectories, right? Like, look at what Black's doing on SmackDown, and at least they're, now maybe you could argue he's still carrying Cross's gimmick, but that being said, two very different.
He's better at it.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean, but still, I mean, two different people.
He's better at it.
But regardless, I mean, the kind of the point that I'm getting at is like with Rusev and Black, they both returned at the same time, and like look at the different situations that they're in. Granted, you could argue, well, Rusev has a WrestleMania match and Black doesn't, but who's positioned better right now on the card moving forward? I'd probably argue Aleister Black. I don't know. Rusev's a great wrestler. Like he does a lot. I knew when he returned that he wasn't gonna get. That he reached his peak before he left, so he was going to be limited to the mid card, and this is exactly where I'd see him, but like wasn't expecting him in a ladder match by any stretch.
No, I didn't. I did not have that on my bingo card, but we'll move on though. So Adam Pearce is on the phone. Danhausen shows up, thinks it's Cena on the phone, and basically he tells Pearce, "You can't see me," and then disappears. It just, God, I love that dude so much.
Adam Pearce actually, every day he puts a picture of somebody, and he always puts that "love somebody" today. And today his picture was him and Danhausen backstage, where he writes "love somebody" today.
That interaction at WrestleMania is going to be absolute gold. I just wonder, like, how it goes down, what happened, like, because the whole gimmick was right, like, you are cursed, like, so you kind of. I mean, it's very nice, very evil. There is people that he does like, so I don't think it's gonna happen. But it'd be interesting, like, what if he curses John Cena? Like, in the
Well, he does.
He ain't gonna curse John Cena.
When he was with Aleister Black, he didn't want to mess with Black. Like he was very timid around Aleister Black.
Yeah, but Aleister Black's also a dark arts guy.
chooses.
Like Aleister Black's not like John Cena's just like the homely. He's on your cereal.
No, I'm no, I mean, I was talking about Danhausen. Like his interaction with Black was different.
All Cena has to do is Punk's already cracked the code. I saw it on social media. So like Punk's sitting there, he's signing, doing that marathon autograph signing thing where he just signs like 5,000 posters or whatever in a sitting, and like Danhausen shows up, and all Punk does is like goes into his wallet, hands Danhausen cash, and Danhausen goes away. Like maybe we see Cena just be like, "Here's some poker chips since we're in Vegas. Go." But like that guy's gold, and Matt and I were talking about this earlier. Is the greatest thing that Danhausen is bringing to the WWE demographic is kids. Kids are now dressing up like him, like face paint and everything to go to shows. And then on top of that, the best example I gave was my own daughter. Now my youngest barely watches wrestling. Like she'll stop for like 2 seconds and off to watch whatever crazy YouTube crap that she watches. Danhausen, she stopped, paused, asked me about him. I showed her about 3 different clips for about 3 minutes. She's like, "That's my guy," like that.
So fun fact about he's the first wrestler and maybe the first person to trademark face paint, and Sting followed suit after he did this.
I heard that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah. And he's just like, when I did it, I didn't really think about it. I was, why not? And I didn't know you could trademark such a thing, but yeah. I guess it's the design.
Well, I think he's like a gold mine for them because like the guys think about his shtick, man. It's not lowbrow. It's funny. It's just perfect for that kid demographic that they're always chasing. And like, it's, how there's certain cartoons out there, Shrek is actually one of them now that I think about it, but like where there's that little bit of innuendo in there, but it goes over the kid's head, and like everything else is like, you're like, oh my God, this is great. It works for adults and kids. That's Danhausen. Works for adults and kids. And it's great. Like he's a gold mine for them. Like he's going to be a gold mine. And the fact that he wins that match on the other day, and they're just like, he's like, 8-0 in curses, 1-0 in matches. Yeah. I'm a WrestleMania Hall of Famer. like, I love this dude so much because we're about to get into some unpleasantries. Have you gotten through Roman Reigns and CM
I have
Punk?
not. So I think, fellas, that's a good time. At Danhausen's a good time for me to make my little escape. But
turn the lights out. We'll see Nick halfway up the ramp.
Wheeling halfway up the ramp. Guys, I wanted to join you real quick here. I had 10 minutes here before I had to go. But always a pleasure.
Thank you for popping in.
Dude,
yeah,
guys,
thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You know I always love chatting wrestling with you. And happy Wrestleversary. We're going to call it Wrestleversary. We'll call it Wrestleversary for now.
Wrestleversary.
Cheers to Wrestleversary to you all. So,
thank you.
Yes, cheers.
Same to you.
Making sure everyone smashes all the like and subscribe to your channel, because I love listening to all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for stopping by, Nick. Appreciate it.
And here we go.
I didn't cut him out. He dropped himself. Hey, look, Nick Club Wrestling, go check him out on YouTube. One of the good friends of the podcast. Him, Mikey from BC Wrestling Pod, Matt and I, we just sit there and riff. So they know where to go for their wrestling WWE takes, and it's right here to this pod. And like Nick said, like and subscribe. All right, Matt. We scared off Nick with just even mentioning this, so let's get into whatever the fuck this was.
It was awful, is what it was.
It was... Ugh. And it derailed like a fun Raw. Again, like they close out with shit. And I blame, there's a lot of blame to go around here. Blame one. Why did Roman come out right after winning Rumble and declare he was going for Punk? Why? Because we knew he wasn't going to be around for a month. They should have made it so he waited until right before the Chamber. And then did it. Because then all this content that has been strung out over all these effing months would have been compressed and hit harder.
They've run out of things to do. Now it's just waiting for the match. That's basically what it is.
We spent weeks of Punk just talking mad shit. And what we get is the I respect you, you respect me promos.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
Just that they found a way to add the word hate into it because they're envious.
But it was still the I hate you, you hate me, I love you.
It's that saccharine.
I may hate you, but I respect you thing. I expect that crap out of Cody Rhodes, not CM Punk and Roman Reigns. F you.
It's so.
It was an insult. When he apologized, look. It was kind of lowbrow to go after family. I fully admit that. Right? But the fact that his promo, he apologized for it. Bro, you're a couple of days from WrestleMania. Like, let it go. It was so bad, Matt. So freaking bad.
Whatever edge they had on the match, they lost it. Because between all the attacks and the fights and the heated and all the vitriol, man, they just...
There's no juice to that match. There's no juice to that match.
They let the air out of the tires. Like, we're running on two flats and two more on the way.
Whoever thought that, like, I just don't get it. Right? Like, the fact that that promo should have been months ago. But like the problem is there's only so many ways to tell somebody I hate you. And I know Punk went for the backhanded compliment or backhanded whatever, right? But like, ugh. And then like, does Roman say anything? Like honestly,
acknowledge me, I'll make you acknowledge me, blah blah blah. I hate you.
Roman comes out to the ring. Now, he cut that great video promo right at the beginning of Raw, so we get bookended with Roman Reigns. And I was like, ooh, Roman about to spit some fire.
No, it was a tale of two Romans.
It was nothing. He just sat there and took it like a bitch.
That's what I mean. It was a tale of two Romans.
Matt, it was terrible. So bad. Like, they got rid of anything what is that match about? Like, what is it about?
Now it's more just about we get to see CM Punk and Roman Reigns fight.
Who cares?
For what? For what? The world title. I mean, it's a match.
Dom Finn.
Huh?
Betrayal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's a reason why that match is happening.
We didn't really talk about it much because Nick was there, but like Ober and Brock, like Ober's promo was great. I mean, he went pretty toe for toe with.
He did, and it was great. And like, I like Obafemi is one of those characters where I really like that.
He says, "You said you issued an open challenge. I took it. Like, that's all you needed for that story. Thank you.
Simple.
Yeah. And Paul kept it simple.
You know, and he put Oba over, and eventually he'll be managing Obafemi. But like, I don't understand what this Punk. I don't know what this match is. I don't know. It's really fucking frustrating to me. And like, I don't know what the match is. I don't know what it's about, other than it's a match on the card. Right? Like, and to a lesser extent, Cody and Randy is kind of in the same boat, except you have the specter of Randy going for number 15. Like, that number 15 matters. So I get that one. I understand the catalyst behind that.
Here's
El Jefe!
Trouble.
Let's get a mic check with El Jefe.
Check.
What's going on?
Not much.
First time go.
That was perfect.
First time go for Mikey, because Nick had to take a do again when he came in. Mikey, thanks for joining us. Welcome.
I'm happy to be here, and thanks for the invitation. I truly appreciate it.
Well, good news. I'm going to ask you the same two questions I started Nick off with, because I want to know, what match are you looking forward to the most this weekend?
Man. Okay. So I think of everything that we got. It's between two. If I'm gonna pick one, honestly, because I'm a spot fest type of person, those are the things that get me excited. For the spots alone, I'm excited for the ladder match. If we take that out of the equation, surprisingly enough, I think Stephanie and Liv is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most.
Really?
I think so. And I have to factor in, I think the wrestling is going to be interesting because they never really faced each other all that often too much. So I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. But I think I also have to factor in, for me, is just like, how did we get here? How has the build been like? What has happened to get us to this point? And while it's kind of cliche when it comes to some of the stuff, at least this story has been given a build-up, and it has been given the time to develop into what we have. It's not anything groundbreaking, but at least it's one of the few matches that doesn't scream, hey, we have 2 weeks until this show, so here you go.
I hear you. So, here's the other one, because this has been something that Matt and I kind of ran through the card earlier talking about in this context. A lot of people are griping because certain wrestlers are left off the WrestleMania card, right? So we're talking like Carmelo Hayes, Tiffany Stratton, Ilya Dragunov, the list goes on and on and on. Asuka, Io Sky, etc. So my question to you, Mikey, is, given what the card currently is, who do you drop off the card to add some of those wrestlers? And I bring that up because in a vacuum, we all go, yeah, Carmelo Hayes should be on WrestleMania. But on the flip side, who do you drop off, right? The card's fairly robust, and they did a lot of cramming, right? Like, we got 6 people in the ladder match. We got 8 wrestlers in the tag team women's match, right? Like, they did a lot to get a lot of talent on there, so who do you drop? Do you drop? Or do you just accept that, like, there's only so much room on the card instead of putting out like a quick 3-minute match like Matt pointed out?
So I think, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think from a logistical standpoint, and to be fair about it, I think that the matches that we do have, I think for the most part, though, they are the right call, in the sense of getting on the card. Of course, you have your big men's and women's championship matches across both nights. You have your Intercontinental being defended. The United States is being defended in the men's division. You have the women's tag match happening. So I do think that on that side of things, I think it is fair. Now, if I was in control of booking it, it's really, really hard because I would love to see more women's matches on the card outside of the ones we've gotten. I mean, we are getting Rhea, Jade, and then Liv and Stephanie, and then the women's tag team championship match.
And AJ and Becky.
Yeah, and AJ and Becky. So I think 4 is really solid, and it's definitely in the step in the right direction. If I'm gonna be honest, as much as I hate to say it, I would swap the Fatal 4-Way for the tag team championships, only because I think when I watch it, it's gonna be a lot of fun. But with everything that we have seen so far, it's not been my favorite build. And I feel like it's just more so get these women on the card more so than let's give them time to actually make something compelling in terms of storytelling.
I think though, you know, and I brought this up earlier, I think the problem is with these multi-team, multi-person matches, you just fall into this incestuous cycle where you just, you know, you put all their names in a hat and you're like, this one versus this one this week. And it's been going on SmackDown and Raw for them. So it's like, okay, it's going to be Alexa Bliss. And, you know, and it's like, well, you know, so we get it different every time, and then they brawl after, you know, it is what it is. I mean, I think they're just building it that way. Like, look, previews over and over again, you know, so I don't think you're going to get much of a story because it's like, there's some infighting storyline stuff that they've been kind of teasing you with, like, you know, the Alexa and Charlotte, Bailey and Lyra. There's a little thing there. Everybody hates, you know, Nia Jax and Lash Legend, you know. So there's stuff there, but I think that's gonna go longer term, right? And then the one thing I brought up to Nick, especially on this topic of who do you add, stuff like, because he mentioned like making the match between Trick Williams and Sami Zayn a triple threat and adding Carmelo. And I'm like, the story really is about Sami Zayn, right? Like, we're going through this transformation of Sami Zayn, and Trick Williams is very, you know, he's the catalyst in all this. So I don't know. Any thoughts on that? Because then we're going to get into what Matt and I were talking about as you joined.
So here's the thing, right? And again, I feel like I always bring this up when it comes to the women's tag team. Because of how we've gotten it on Mania, I still think it's going to be fun. I like 3 out of the 4 teams that are involved in that match. Even if it was just more of a showcase, because this women's tag team division is always going to be thrown together. Again, because Mania is mostly main roster, if they really wanted to bend the rules a little bit, leading into this, it doesn't need to be something deep. We could have had hey, so we have these tag team championships, Lash and Nia. Since you are the champions and you are predominantly on SmackDown, you are going to enter this Fatal 4-Way. We will determine your opponents by figuring out who is qualifying from Raw. My whole thing is, if you have 4 brands, or technically 5 if you want to count Evolve, but even then I would not yet anyways. I think it would have been cool to take a team who would win their qualifier or a tiny little tournament to go to WrestleMania. So you have the champions from SmackDown, you have a team from Raw, you have a team from NXT. And because I do know a lot of the talent can travel, if you wanted to take a team from AAA or even Evolve, you could have done it that way and just be more of a showcase for the titles.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's something you're going to see because, Matt, you know, I know we were talking about it in the text chain, and Matt and I were kind of talking about it on here, which is WWE has a problem because after this Mania, next Mania is in Saudi, and it's not going to be, same. But the reality is that you're going to have to get creative with it. So I kind of like that, like, yeah, get all the different brands involved. Like, honestly, personally, I would love to see War Games morph into that, right? Like brand versus brand at War Games, like a true War Games where it's like, nope, here's your reps from AAA, here's your reps from SmackDown, Raw, NXT, all kids in the pool. Let's go. Let's have something at it. I think that could be really cool. But since you brought up AAA, I need your take. And it's funny I say take because we're going to talk about The Undertaker. Because obviously I think he's pretty much head of creative for AAA right now.
He's definitely on the production team because I saw the end
He
of
definitely
AAA. Did
has
you,
a hand
Mikey?
in it for sure, which honestly I actually am appreciative of because I do believe that Undertaker is really good about. I put Undertaker in the same category as Shawn Michaels with how he's handling NXT. He cares and he wants to see the brand that he's helping out or being a part of be successful. And based on what we have seen so far since the acquisition of AAA by WWE, this is kind of a hot take, but me personally, I think it is the most well produced of the four shows that is happening. And again, because it's different, because it's lucha libre, so that style is a lot different than what we see on Raw and SmackDown. But I do think because Wild Taker is down there helping out, they still have the everyday operations, at least from what I have read and from what I could research, that the people who were running AAA before, the showrunners, the bookers, they're still there. But now they have Taker kind of helping them be a WWE presents AAA kind of vision more so than what it was before. And I'm enjoying it because I've been watching AAA for a while now, and just like every other brand, we have gone through some dark times. Alberto Del Rio, Alberto Del Patron is what he called himself when he was in AAA.
Did he just
And
get
that's
arrested like in the last
Again,
week?
he did for for DV.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a stellar human being.
so I wanted to ask you that because I'm very curious because they obviously just had a show because we all know the Mass v Mass thing, which is the right call, by the way, to have it there. 100% the
Yes.
right call.
Mm-hmm.
Because the true El Grande Americano is like all the way out to Pluto over in AAA, so it makes perfect sense. So I guess what I really was kind of curious about in all this, did you notice in that last event a creative difference or a different feel in that show compared to like their predecessors leading up to that? Like, I think this is the first one that Undertaker was really kind of, fingers in the pie kind of deal. So I'm kind of curious about like, did you notice a thing or is it just getting overhyped because reasons?
So I think, I think a couple different reasons. I think this one worked out because one, this one was live, whereas the last 3 weeks have been pre-taped. So when they did the Reyes de Reyes event, they taped all three of those episodes that have been airing the last 3 weeks on YouTube in one single go. So that was one single night's worth of shows. So they
Good Lord.
they pulled the TNA route and taped like 3.5, 4 hours of television. The standard like paper, like that's the same time as like most pay-per-views go anyways. And so that was all pre-taped. This one was live, but I think it also helped too because where it was, the pre-tapes were in their home base, which still draws a big crowd, but for this one they were literally in the heart of Mexico City, which their arena is huge, and where AAA does most of their big live events too, like Triple Mania and other places as well. So I think definitely because of the venue and knowing that this is one of the bigger shows, which is leading into the next big one at the end of May, definitely production and everything was definitely a step up and all that good stuff. And the action was great too, especially with the arrival of La Catalina, which is very interesting because this is the first talent that is jumping over from CMLL to WWE's version of AAA, which is very interesting.
Cool. All right. So you're in a good mood, Mikey? Have I put you in a good mood? Are you in your happy place right now?
I am, and I'm afraid to say yes because I'm wondering what's coming next.
But go ahead, Matt. You had something.
No, I was going to say I did catch Penta versus El Vikingo. because a lot of people were thinking that that was El Vikingo's way to get into the ladder match at WrestleMania. Thank God it didn't. I don't know if you saw it, Sean, the AAA show, but man, they went nuts over. They love some Penta down there. Absolutely bonkers.
Doesn't.
And then the epic brawl between the Americanos, the original, and the true.
The true. You could say it, the true.
Yeah. That brawl was pretty wild. I mean, they were going at it, and yeah, you talk about, like you said, Pluto over. Man, Kaiser is so over.
100%.
He is.
Gabe will be lucky if the cartel doesn't get him.
Actually, it was
He had
funny.
so much heat on him on that show. I'm like,
It's fantastic.
it was.
Kaiser, like somebody asked him about Kaiser. He's like, I don't know. I haven't seen that guy in forever. Like he played it totally off. I love that guy so
and
much.
to kind of answer what you said, Sean, too, about Penta being so over. Oh, and you too, Matt, about Penta being so over in AAA. The fans have always loved him because Penta got his start in AAA. He was like one of their major guys for the last 7 years or so before he hopped on over to AEW. And now that he's a WWE, not only does he get to be Intercontinental Champion in front of the American audience, which him and Rey Fenix have been working towards since they were kids, and they started wrestling at like 10, which is nuts to say, but I'm telling you, those luchadores, they start when they turn the double digits. It's insane how that regimen goes.
Ray was like 13, right? Rey Mysterio
Yeah,
had
a
his first
lot
match
of the
at 13.
luchadors, the men, they start when it's double digits, and now same thing with the women too. A lot of the luchadoras are starting double digits too. This is literally, that's in the blood. This is what they do, and of course, a lot of them have family that has either been in the business or a part of the business in some capacity. Yeah, Penta's always gonna be over, and that's, I think, one of the things that's different is that the AAA crowd is not afraid to tell you who they like and who they dislike. As you saw,
No.
Penta is big over and Vikingo is mad booed, but it comes with the culture of lucha libre. The Mexican fans are gonna tell you how they feel, and that's one thing I like about AAA and just lucha libre in general is the Latin fans, they have no time for BS. They will tell you who they like and who they dislike.
Because even Dom's still over down at AAA, right? With the AAA fans, he's a big baby face.
So, out of curiosity, since we all know what our show is here and its main roster. So, did you happen to watch Stand and Deliver?
Of course,
at all?
Of course I did. And me and one of my hosts, Kilt, we did a watch along, and we did a post show last week too. So yeah.
So, I guess. All right. So Matt and I had this debate for about 5 minutes via text. We're like, because I was intrigued. I know that's the big one for NXT. And I was like, I kind of want to dip over and watch. I was like, Matt, do you think it's bad that I should go? So like, did I miss anything earth shattering or was it pretty, am I safe, Mikey? Am I safe that I did not watch Stand and Deliver and, as to not taint my takes on wrestlers that come up to main roster?
So, okay. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Did you really miss anything earth-shattering? I'm gonna say not really. But in the sense of where this one's a little difficult to answer because it depends on how much you have seen of NXT. If you have seen little to nothing at all, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, now would probably be the best time if you want to start dipping your toes in because Stand and Deliver tends to reset a lot of things. I will say, I think what you would see in NXT is, in terms of in-ring, is probably about the same you would say on main roster, so nothing earth-shattering. But I put an asterisk next to it because of the fact that, in my personal opinion, I think NXT, because the stars are a lot younger or still new to the wrestling business or are coming from different places where they wrestle different than the WWE style of wrestling. I think it's more creative and it's more fun, and it just depends. Like main roster, you get your big moments, you get the things that happen, your big power moves. Where I think NXT, you get creative with what you do. Now that Evolve has decided to send, and NXT has called up a lot of the Evolve talent too. We just replenished the roster with a lot of high flyers and speedsters and all types of fun stuff. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's always a catch-22 for Matt and I, though, because you guys know, you see it in the text. So, like, you guys, prime example, Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes. Do I know they have a history? Yes. Have I seen that history? No. So, like, I don't want to ruin, with Pat, oh, I saw these guys in NXT and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to taint that because we all know when you go out to the main roster, that's a clean reset, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I got to maintain that kind of neutrality. So, it's cool though, because like, it's always a catch though, because there's once in a while, like, honestly, like early on last year, I actually watched part of Stand and Deliver or whatever the PLE was WrestleMania weekend.
And Stand and Deliver.
I was impressed. And I saw
last year's,
and I saw nuts. I think I saw Carmelo Hayes. I think I saw Carmelo Hayes last year for the first time before he came up to the main roster. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's really good. And like, it was cool, but I didn't know the background. So I was kind of safe. You know what I mean? Like, I just was like, this guy was really fun to watch. And, obviously here we are in the main roster. He's really fun to watch, so it's always a double-edged sword. So now that everybody's happy and we talked about happiness and great things like AAA and the young kids in NXT, let's talk about a shit show. Mikey, as you were coming on, we were talking about the closeout of Raw last night. Please give us your takes on Roman Reigns and CM Punk and that crap fest.
Okay, so, I mean, you guys said it perfectly in the text thread. It's just like, this switch up is insane. And I think that's where my biggest issue was with that closeout. I will say this, neither one of the main men's titles feud is going anywhere for me. Surprisingly, I will take the Randy and the Pat and the Cody more so, because I was just like, as much as I don't like that, I was just like, at least I'm cheering for Randy, and I'm still a big fan of Mr. Randall Keith Orton over there, and I'm rooting for him to win this weekend. So at least Randy is keeping me invested because it's great. Also, I know people are mad at it. I wasn't as mad. I was annoyed at first. I was just like, all right, Pat, you're here, so we just go and accept it. My issue is we got too many people moving in the storyline, because you got Randy and Cody, you got Pat McAfee running around, Jelly Roll is now in the mix as well, so I'm just sitting here and I'm like, damn, that Backlash tag team, you gotta cram that in, because once Mania is over, we have only like 2.5 weeks until Backlash.
Yeah, so let me touch on that real quick, because I want to bring this up, because there's multiple layers to this onion with that group, and I think Jelly Roll, out of all of them, makes the most sense if you were going to tag somebody in, right? Jelly Roll has the history with Randy from SummerSlam. Early on, I thought he was going to be the good cop, bad cop on the shoulders thing for Randy. I thought Jelly Roll was going to be the good cop, right? Because I'm sorry, man. You give that guy a microphone and let him talk. That dude could cut promos all week and twice on Sunday, and I'll listen to him. It just resonates differently with him on the mic. So when he's having those, what are you doing conversations with people, it really is the yin to Pat McAfee's yang right now. And I get we don't like because there's a title involved. But here's the problem, folks. You're not going to get heat on Randy, no more so than you were going to get heat on John Cena. And the only way there's perceived heat, it's not even on Randy, it's on Pat. And like, so you kind of needed it, because WWE likes to draw things in crayon at times and go, this is the good guy, this is the bad guy. I know you're confused because everybody's booing the good guy and then they're cheering for the bad guy. So we have to make it clear, this is the bad guy. You know what I mean? And like, that's what WWE is doing. They're drawing
a whole thesis statement on how that is absolute crap. I'm like, I can cheer who I want.
But my point to you is
Pat
they
McAfee
want
is
you.
the goalie for Randy Orton. He's there to take all the heat. He's there to take all the shots. So protects Randy, but gives somebody for people to be mad at.
And
But the sad thing
honestly,
is, Pat nails stuff like we were talking earlier. Pat hits stuff right on the head. He's the angry fan that has been betrayed. That's what he's speaking for, the angry fan that's been betrayed by the WWE creative over the years. All the Vince bullshit, the silly PG crap and bootios and all that stuff. So Pat's speaking for us.
Which I think is also why I'm kind of
So-
more invested in that. But to kind of bring it back around to what initially started this, my biggest issue with all of this, and I can only speak from my experience. So, as someone who does a lot of writing, especially when it comes to the notes for our shows or for the research that I do when I'm doing news or any kind of stuff for us, I tend to write, and if y'all could see my Google Drive, it would be insane the amount of notes I have over the last 3 years we've been doing this. But as someone who values writing in professional wrestling, especially from a storytelling aspect, especially when it comes to feud, one of the biggest things that irritates me is I know that this is a televised program and you have to make small adjustments because you are live, you have to work on the fly sometimes, you have to plan for things going wrong. If they can go wrong, they will go wrong, which, is part of show business. But my biggest issue is that for the last couple of weeks, or since Roman won the Rumble, the whole entire storyline for this whole entire thing has been they cannot stand each other. And as much as it was stupid and convoluted between Rumble and now, at least I could say, you know what, it's fine. And you know what, they made some very interesting, and while I feel like the writing could have been better for a lot of this, at least I was like, okay, I understand motivation, I understand where each of them are coming from. This is a feud where they do not like each other because they stand for different beliefs, they are of different mindsets. The better writing, it can be more intriguing, but I was vibing with it. I was like, okay, it's not the best, but you know what, at least we got a through line. Then, at the 11th hour, they throw all that away because then it turns into, I hate you because I'm jealous of you, and in fact, I respect you. When that whole promo went down, in real.
Sound familiar, Sean? Sound
It's
familiar?
exactly what I said. I was like, how do you go from like visceral hate? I hate you so much. Weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of like, I hate you talk. And then you drop the I respect you, you respect me promo. I hated it. I hated it so much because like, I hate you because I'm kind of jelly and blah, blah, blah. Like, it, dude, the dropping of the apology of, about Seek, I was just like, are you ever kidding me?
Look,
Are you ever? There is no zero zilch heat on this match. This
They ran
match
out- they ran-
exists
I told
just
you
to
they-
exist.
They ran out of shit to do. They went a week or two too long
this is
with the build
and
up.
this is where this is what I was saying too. It's just like leading into this, had there been like small moments where that slipped out, it's just like we're built. We could have had something where Punk is like, I don't understand why you hate me so much, or vice versa. Roman could have been like, I don't understand why you're angry with me or you're mad at me. I mean, we got none of that. And all of a sudden, it goes from them not liking each other to literally, as I put it sometimes, I was like, we skipped a couple steps in the plot development and we missed a couple of rising action scenes to get to where we're at.
So what? At the end of the night, too, are they going to just hug it out after the bell rings at the end of the match?
Oh my God, if they do that shit, I'm gonna throw the remote out the window because, like, first off,
What floor are you on, by the way?
I'm on the 3rd floor. Like, first off, like, does Roman ever say anything of substance? Like, he cut that video promo in the beginning, and we're gonna get this epic, like, Roman Reigns, truth sayer. He didn't say shit. He came out, and Punk interrupted him. And then we get nothing. And then, Mikey, I brought this up earlier when we first started talking about this. Roman Reigns should have never declared who he was going up against until right before the Chamber. That's 3+ weeks that instead of running out right after Rumble and be like, you. No. 3 weeks, or you could have got at least 3 weeks of buffer of who's he going to pick? Who's he going to pick? He has to pick before Chamber. Who's he going to pick?
And I think that's what I get frustrated with, at least in the last couple of years, because Rumble is so early each year, usually in January in some capacity, and Mania is somewhere in April. It's just like, they will never do this because of optics, because you would need to figure out something to do for January. But I'm like, push Rumble to February, have Chamber be in March, then you can actually, won't feel so long. And I think that's why I'm still trying to figure out how I was like, who wrote this? Who was in charge of building this feud? Because
stop.
Go ahead.
Hold on. 1 second.
No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Counter your argument. My podcast, our podcast, everybody's podcast. Anyways, no, I want to counter this a little bit because January works, but here's the kicker. You get 3 free weeks of content on both shows. We saw this because Liv Morgan kind of drug her feet, right? And like, we got this with her dragging her feet. It was, hey, if she picks me, the SmackDown champ, if she picks me, she's going to regret it, blah, blah, blah. But it's a little something, something. And the same went on for Raw. So if you would have just had Roman, who's not going to show up anyways, just out there like, I don't know, Roman's going to have to decide, and then Punk could cut, all right, if he chooses me, F him. Cody, if he chooses me, we'll run it back and I'll beat him again. Whatever. You got 3 weeks of free content that means nothing. And then you get into the feud. And that's why it will work if you don't come out, 2 days later and go, you. Unless there's like previous history. Like if Seth Rollins wins the Royal Rumble and Braun Breaker's the champion, you go, oh yeah, you effer, because I'm going to get my receipts. Perfect sense. But in this case, you just ran out, said, it's you. And then we're like, oh, by the way, Punk, deuces, I'll be back in a month. Carry on the feud. And that's what created this mess.
I hate this. But again,
and Roman's going away after WrestleMania anyway, isn't he?
It's so annoying.
Isn't he going over to film
with the belt?
It's so annoying.
God, don't think
Roman's not getting that belt. He is not getting that belt. I know WWE has...
So sure?
Yes, because I know WWE has made some really dumb decisions over the last year or two when it comes to certain things. I don't think we are up a creek without a paddle for that to turn from a dumb decision to a stupid decision. I was just like...
What, you mean double strapping him, letting him disappear, and having no title on Raw for almost a year?
Yeah, that's why I don't want to go back to not having a men's title on Raw again. God, those are the dark... Listen, as someone who has survived the 2010s era of Raw and SmackDown, and have seen a lot of shit go down with all of that, from the golden egg, just some of the highlights: a golden egg, dog food, oh my gosh, Kofi Mania being a thing and then getting it absolutely squashed in like 10 seconds. Also,
it's a thing. No, it's not.
I was just like, the optics weren't great with Kofi, and the optics weren't great when Big E finally won the championship, and how that all went down too. But the point being, going back to what we were talking about with all of this, you built this feud up of them absolutely hating each other. And then I just sat here and I'm just like, did someone leak the therapy tapes? Because this is a lot. This is a lot going down. And I can say that as someone who has their degree in psychology and is in therapy myself. I'm like, who released the tapes? Because I felt like I was intruding on a private conversation where, like, they're like, this is how I really feel. And I'm like, I understand that, but in storytelling, there are progressions to these feelings. where does this, and that's the other thing that made me mad too. I was like, where does the hatred stem from? All I've really been told is like, oh, I don't like you. I'm like, why? What is the reason? I was just like, you didn't even give me a legit reason. Like, if Roman says, I don't like you because I'm at the top of this era, but all ever people still talk about is you. I was like, listen, if you're going to be a bitter ex, be a bitter ex. Be a bitter baby mama, as I call it. Be bitter. Give me some depth to the emotions.
I love it.
But it is just so surface level and deep. And the problem is that most people who aren't as invested or investigative aren't going to care, because I understand that Raw and SmackDown no longer applies to me. I watch it because it's entertaining, though, because I love the talent on main roster. I truly do. But the storytelling, I was just like, damn, Road Dogg, I owe you an apology. I was like, shit, man. I was just like, who is writing this? This is absolute garbage. This is what happens when you have the same people writing everything over and over again. I'm like, whoever did Stephanie and Liv, can y'all get on this? Because we could have used you for this one too. At least I would have cared more.
I just want to hear what LaGreca has to say about it.
God.
And the boys over at Buzz. Like, is LaGreca going to spiral out or what?
Probably.
To crash out.
But
great
you
content.
know what?
It is.
Mikey, thank you so much for joining us for our season 2 premiere, our 1-year anniversary.
And almost
for
our
this.
longest episode.
Hell yeah.
I know, but it's been great. We had Mikey, we had Nick. Well, new intro for the fans out there and our subscribers and listeners. Mikey, take a moment, tell the folks what you're doing, especially this WrestleMania week, while I plug in a light so I can actually be seen, because it got dark here.
He disappeared. No. Oh my gosh. What aren't we doing is the real question. No, so first and foremost, I would like to thank Sean and Matt for being my friend and letting me be a part of this, because getting to meet them, to go, for those of you who don't know, to go from just talking over the social medias through DMs and messages on the social medias to actually be like, hey, you may not know me. We're all grown adults here, and let's be friends. Let's see how this goes out. So I am very...
You guys are my best friends. And there's the South Park reference of the day.
I kid you not, if you two had the time and we can, all my hosts tell you how they ended up joining us, it's pretty much the same thing. A lot of them were like, hey, we like wrestling. We're on the internet. Let's be friends. But I'm very appreciative of not only the working relationship, but the friendship with you two, and that means a lot to me. Now, to plug in my actual stuff before I start crying on camera. My goodness.
No crying at wrestling.
Yes. Leave me alone. No, our audience knows I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm very passionate about this, and I love this with all my fiber of my being.
You ain't got no sleeves.
I know, I got no sleeves, so everything is bare. Anywho, but BC WrestlePod is pretty much going live almost every single day this week with our regular stuff, and then starting Friday is when we enter our 3rd annual BC WrestlePod Presents WrestleMania Hell Week, in which we are covering not only we're doing both nights of Mania watch-alongs, so that's going to be fun, but we're also doing watch-alongs and coverage of other events, specifically a lot of the independents. So Friday, you're going to see a lot of me this whole entire week, and you're going to see maybe a couple of our friendos pop in as well, but the big thing for WWE is Saturday and Sunday we will be doing live watch-alongs for night 1 and night 2. And then that Monday after night 2 of Mania is our post show, where we're going to cram 2 nights of Mania in hopefully an hour and 30 minutes.
Not going to happen.
Good luck.
We're going to try, because I got another show later that evening too. So I was just like, listen guys, we got to hurry this up.
So it just might.
Yeah, that's right. Bust the time every time. But again, Mikey, thank you so much for coming on. And we appreciate it. We love the working relationship. We love your friendship. And I'm not going to lie, like, I love our text group because it's just the highlight of my day, because the stupidness folks, I know I've talked about this before. If you could see our text group, you could tell exactly how an episode of Raw, SmackDown, or a PLE are going, by how attentive we are. If we're talking about the stuff on the show, then it's probably a really good, captivating show. If we are just off the rails talking about some of the dumbest crap on the face of the earth, it's been a bad show. So, Mikey, I love that you're a part of that. I love that you're friends with us. I love your podcast. I love hanging out with all y'all. So thank you so much. Matt, take a moment, tell the folks where to find us.
Yes, first of all, thank you again for all the subscribers we've had over the last years. Those of you who watch, please make sure you check out Mikey's stuff on BC Wrestle Pod and Nick us over at Nick's, was it Wrestling Club?
Nick Club Wrestling.
Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. He's on Mondays and I think Fridays he's also live, so check him out as well. And I think we'll put the links in. And, you know, like, share, subscribe, and the more likes and stuff we get, maybe someday we will get the human monies.
Yes, it's all about the human monies.
Yeah, we're not here for that. But anyway, thank you again for our first year. It was a great year. We learned a lot, so I guess as they do in racing, we could take the yellow stripe off the bumper. The rookie stripe is gone. So, again, with all that, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find all our stuff up here. And also, do not forget also that we're going to do our preview shows 9 o'clock on Saturday in the morning, Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. We'll be on for like 20, 30 minutes, give our rundown of the show, and we'll be back again Sunday morning again, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. And then we'll do our analysis of what our projections will be for night 2. And if the Earth falls off its axis, you might see us do a post-show after Sunday night. Hoping not. I'm going to be tired because I got to watch both shows the same day, Sean.
I know, right? So, again, folks, thanks for watching. Mikey, again, thank you for coming on. Thanks to Nick for when you came on, too. I love you all. And as always, be good. We'll talk to y'all, and we'll see you guys Saturday. So we'll talk on Saturday. Nice and live. We're out. Talk to y'all later. You, bro.